Yeah, this stuff's going to be cut out at the end, so just don't worry about it. You know, loving it. So if you've ever been somebody who's wanted to leave your 9-to-5 job but never knew how, or you maybe have already kind of lost that job and you're sitting at home trying to look for something to do, something that's going to fill you up and something that's going to speak to that way that you're designed. Well, today on the Everyday Leader, we're going to talk about that, about the plan to leave the ordinary rat race in order to build the life that you were designed to build, here on the Everyday Leader. That's right, guys. We are here live. I'm your host, Jim Ragoon. This is the Everyday Leader Live. We're here live each and every single week, with the exception of last week because of internet problems. But you know how technology will fail you. We do videos and on the YouTube channel every week, one live, 1 or 2 videos. We want to make sure that we're helping you as the viewer, as the subscriber, as family, get moving, get noticed, and get paid, because we want your business moving forward. We want you to get noticed on social media so that you can get paid for what you do. Because guess what? There is a beauty that you bring to the marketplace. There's a beauty that you bring to the world. And we want to make sure that you're compensated correctly for what you bring. And that's okay, because that's what we're going to do here tonight. We're going to talk about how can you get rid of out of the rat race, out of that mindset that just really keeps you down into, I must have a job, I must have a job. And then you teach your children how to have that job, right? And that's not really what it's about. We don't do the rat race. We're not into getting people to continue or perpetuate a cycle of this rat race that says, let's do the 9-to-5, let's do the 9-to-5, let's do the 9-to-5, right? That's not what we want to do. We want to actually teach you something and get you into a place where you're growing, you're building a business that's going to support you. And I think tonight is going to be really, pivotal in some of the ways that you and I need to think about this, like as you're doing this. And again, maybe some of you guys are doing on and end jobs. Maybe some of you guys are out there who are like piecemealing. Maybe you're a writer, maybe you're doing the Ubers and all those things, just trying to make ends meet. But what if I could tell you, if you get some of this stuff down tonight, if you get this in your head, if you get this in your heart, and you start implementing this stuff, that you are going to be able to grow a business that you can be proud of, that you can leave to future generations, and that you can actually live the life that you're dreaming, right? That's what we're talking about. And as we're jumping in, we're just going to say hi. Now, I know who this is. That's Gregory over there, because that would be $10. It's an inside joke for all of us. There's my brother, Freddie. His technology may fail us, but you never will. Oh, I love that. Love that, my friend. Love that. And let me just say a shout out to an incredible innovator in the space of interactive VSLs and stuff like that. This is going to be incredible what he's coming out with. My buddy, a client of mine, a real good friend of mine, Jonathan Jenna. Super great, super excited for you to be here on the show as well. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. So here's the thing. So we're going to jump into this and we're going to talk about this mindset stuff, because I'm really big on mindset. And I want you to get a hold of this. And again, if you have already left the job, you may catch some stuff tonight, right? And as I say many weeks, it's not about like knowing everything, but it's about catching something and implementing something. And that's really what it comes down to. If you can implement one thing out of all of this, find it and implement it, and it's going to change your life. Because here's the deal. Success isn't an accident, right? This is something that you and I have to get to the understanding that success is not an accident. All those other YouTubers out there, and I'm big, I love YouTube. I love being on YouTube. It's something God told me to go all in on it. But I watch a lot of these YouTubers, and you hear it time and time again. Jump out, have no plan, just do it, just do it, just do it. I'm going to tell you, don't. I'm going to be the voice of reason on the other side, is because I want you to do it correctly. Because a lot of times people will fail when they jump with no plan. People will fail when they don't realize that success is not an accident. You just don't jump out and then suddenly you land into success. It just doesn't work that way. But there are things that we can do. There are things that we can know. There are things that we can put in our lives, right? I was listening to some YouTube this morning, and it actually made sense, because the guy on it says you don't become a millionaire overnight. It takes about 10 years for the average person to become a millionaire. And that's 10 years of hard grinding and pushing and pulling and all those things. And the ones that you hear about, the ones that are like, yo, I just quit my job yesterday and I'm a billionaire, right? Those guys are the exception, not the rule. And I want you guys, and on this channel, on the Lead with Jim channel, I will never tell you something that is a pie in the sky, romanticized thing that's going to get you in this mindset of, oh yeah, we can have this in less than 3 days. No, but it may take you a month or two just to find out what you want to do and then grow from there. Can you make 6 figures in under a year? Absolutely can. Can you make $1 million in under a year? Yes, but if you haven't made your first 1,000, you're not probably going to make $1 million in that first year. And that's okay. So we want to make sure that we're having an honest discussion on this channel about how you get through these things. What are some things to look for and how do you get moving, get noticed, and get paid? That's really what it comes down to. I read a statistic, I actually heard a statistic the other day, which was really amazing. They said after $75,000, your happiness doesn't go up, right? Think about that. So after $75,000, you don't get any happier, right? You just get more leverage to do more things that make you happy, right? So if you're making under $75,000 a year, you're stressing, you're doing these things. But I'm going to tell you, 75,000 to 100,000 changes people's lives, because the average person right now during what we're going through and all these things are making less than $75,000. So if you even got to 75 into 100, your life would be changed, and you're not going to be much more happier than that. So when you're jumping out of your 9 to 5, it's not about you finding happiness, it's about you finding freedom, right? Because that's what really this is about. That's what really I'm all about. I'm about finding freedom. I haven't pulled this one out in a while, my soapbox moment. I'm all about finding freedom. I want you to find freedom, right? This is what this is all about, guys. And if freedom means leaving the job to do what you want, to create the life you want, to go out, travel where you want, all those things, then do it. Let nothing hold you back. But don't listen to the fly-by-night people who tell you do this, 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 and this, and you're going to make $1 bajillion in 3, 4, 5 days, and everything's going to be all right. No, it takes work, it takes time, and it takes grit. Because you're going to have things that you're going to experience that you've never experienced before, and that's okay, because that's growth. But you're going to be able to get out there and do things on your terms. And that's what this is all about, is doing things on our terms, because that's what we're here for, right? I'm going to share, I'm going to help you. I'm going to do all the things that I need to do in this life, because my whole heart is to help you grow, help you get out there, and help you actually do what God's designed you to do. That's my whole life. But if I don't jump, that doesn't happen. If you don't jump, that doesn't happen. Maybe you are somebody who says, well, I'm going to be staying in a job until I retire. Then do it, but understand the decisions that you're making and how the ramifications of that. And don't go jealously looking after something else that you want because you've decided to do this, right? But that I will tell you this before we jump into what all this is simply, don't be limited by what everybody else says. Only be limited by what you're called to be, who you're called to be, and what you're called to do. Let that be your limit, not what people tell you. If there's something in your head that say you suck, it's because it was put there by somebody else. Understand that you're stuck in the positions you are because somebody put it in your heart and your head that you suck, you this, you that, right? Let's move beyond those things and get into this place of understanding that you are more than just that. And with that being said, let me ask you this question. Are you working your dream job? Are you working that dream job, guys? Just answer me, put that in the comments. And if you are working that dream job, what is it? Like, what is the dream job that you're working? Because I think that's going to be huge. I want to hear what you have to say, right? If you're not working that dream job, what do you want to do? What is the dream that's in your heart? Throw that in the comments. And without further ado, let's really talk about what a job is, right? And I got to remove this so you see this, right? Let's talk about what a job is. A job, and I've heard this a couple times, and I always found this is incredibly funny. A job is just over broke, right? You and I, my friends, will not, and I mean will not, ever create wealth while working a job. And when I say wealth, I'm talking there's a difference between, somebody who, name your favorite basketball, name your favorite player who's making millions of dollars a year. They're rich. The guy who's wealthy is the guy who owns the team where everybody works for him. Everybody works for her, right? Everybody's chasing riches, but I want you to chase wealth, because if you put yourself in a position of wealth, then you get to call the shots and you create the jobs for others and you create a life that's leaving a legacy. But as long as you create that job, as long as you're in there, you're just going to live your life just over broke. Now you may say, hey, listen, I've got a pension. I've got a 504. I got a five. Yeah, I got like one of these. I'm back in my pastoring days where 501c3, but the 401ks, and I've got all these things, and that's great, and you should have them, and you should be building those. But do you want to enjoy your life now, or do you want to enjoy your life when you're 65? That's the difference you're going to ask. A job will keep you at the level that you get hired on. Now, there are some people who are like lawyers are making 6-7 figures a year, but they're still paying student loans that are 6-7 figures a year. A job will keep you just over broke. But if you launch out into something more, if you launch out into your own thing while working a job, then you get to create the life that you want that's going to overtake and eventually leave your job, right? And that brings us to what this comes down. Let's talk about the escape plan. For all you guys who are online, let me know in the comments. Are you ready for the escape plan? We're gonna create an escape plan. We're gonna create a thought. We're gonna create some things, some mindsets here, and that's what it comes down. Because we don't want to be all like these people who are just stuck in I wish I could have, I wish I would have, but I never did. That's not how this works. We want to be the people who always gets to a place of doing what we're called to do, when we're called to do it, how we're called to do it, and live on our terms, by our means, and all those things. And the first thing is visualize what you want. Visualize what you want. I get a lot of questions about this, and when we talk about this, is that the question always comes down to, how do I get out of my 9-to-5 job? How do I get out of what I want in life? How do I get what I want out of life, right? That's always the first question that we get asked, is how do I get what I want out of life? The first thing I always tell people is visualize what you want. One of the biggest challenges that I've ever seen is that people don't know what they want. So they go chasing after things that they don't know because they have no idea. They've never defined it. They don't know what makes them happy. So they're chasing someone else's ideals, and they're not chasing after what they truly want. They're not chasing after what they desire. And with that being said, I want you to visualize that. I want you to visualize what that looks like and what that looks like in your life. Because when you get in touch with what you want, you begin to make different decisions, right? So that's the number one thing that you have to really get into your heart. If you want it, you've got to visualize it. You've got to see yourself standing in it. You've got to see yourself walking in it. You've got to taste it. You got to get into this place of you already live it. Walt Disney, right? There was actually this really cool thing, this story where Walt Disney, when he died, he never actually got to stand really in the park that he created, that he saw, that all these things. And one of the, I think it was daughter who said, when somebody said, man, I wish Walt could have seen this. And I think it was his daughter who said, he saw it every day of his life. His dream was built that touched generations because he lived in it. He visualized it. When people jump out of a 9-to-5 job with no plan, then they plan to fail. And that's really what it comes down to. Your key to success is having a plan. If you can't visualize what you want, if you can't see it, then you can't plan for it. You have no idea what you desire. So you're chasing after things that you're like, I just want stuff. Great. You just want stuff. This just doesn't work that way. It's the error, right? It just doesn't work that way, because you have to know what you want. Which brings me really to the second thing, guys, is you've got, based on what you want, you've got to create an exit plan. You've got to create an exit plan. And as I said earlier, if you don't plan, you don't have success. Now, what is an exit plan? An exit plan is a series of events or goals that you're going to create with hard dates. Do not create an exit plan without dates. If you want to quit your 9-to-5 job, set the date, set some goals, and then work your tail off to meet every single goal. If you set a goal of saying, you know what, this week I'm going to create $1,000 in new income, don't give up until you get it, right? And what if it happens next week, but you keep doing it until you get it? Then you do it again. And every time you do it again, it gets easier to do it. So the deal is that figure out what you need to leave. So if you're in a job, if you're in a place where you make $4,000 a month, and that job pays you after taxes $4,000 a month, then you need to create an income in your business that is a minimum of $4,000 a month plus taxes. So you're looking at somewhere around $5,000 to $7,000 a month in income coming in your business that's going to replace your current income. And when it replaces your current income, then you can leave your job. But until such time, you don't want to leave, right? So you start building and you start building whatever that thing is, you start building. And when it's at that level, then you leave the job. Now, some of you guys have gotten to a place where it is what it is. We are living in the times we are. And you're like, well, I kind of just fell off of this, right? And I don't have a job anymore. That's okay. Do little menial things like Ubers, like things like that, that's going to pay you a little bit of money while you build your business. But always have an exit plan. You're not going to run Ubers for the rest of your life. You're not going to be 65 with a walker handing people food at their door. This is not what it is, right? But if you don't have an exit strategy, if you don't have a plan, then you plan to fail. And with that being said, have hard goals with hard dates that lead to the life that you want to build. And I'm going to go over here to the comments because we want to make sure that we hit up some of you guys. Yep, Jonathan. And wait, yep, Jonathan. Jonathan says, I'm an escape artist, been there and broke free. Yes, sir. Yes, you did. Michelle, thank you for being on the show, Michelle. Michelle says, I am trying to live the dream job right now. It takes time to get the footing. Yes, it does. Absolutely. It takes a lot of time, but that's okay. It gets easier and easier because you get stronger and you get wiser. And the wiser you get, the better at this you become. And then Jonathan says this, which I always appreciate what Jonathan says. One of the keys to is remember that the dream calling won't be perfect. Yeah, right there. Like, I love that. I think it's dangerous to romanticize the destination of a dream job instead of living fully through each step of the journey. Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with that. Like, I 100% think that life is oftentimes romanticized, right? We get into this place where we're like, wow, I'm going to leave my job tomorrow and I'm going to make 6 figures by June 30th. Not really going to happen that way. But if you look at the hard truth and you balance it with the beauty of the visionary of living in the thing that one day you will make 6 figures, one day you may make 7 figures, and you live in that, then it gets easier to make the decisions that you need to today, walk through the hard things that you need to do today to get to that 6 and 7 figure earning level. It just balances itself out. You'll never walk it if you don't have a vision of it, but if you don't have a vision of it, you'll never start either. But then if you don't live in the reality of it, you'll chase dreams and visions and never accomplish anything. And so with that in mind, you get into this place where you balance vision and action with reality and a little bit of craziness. And when you throw that together and you mix it up, guess what happens? Something beautiful. You create a life that you've always wanted to live. And I think that's really what it comes down to. And I want you to be in that life that you've always wanted to live, and stop making excuses why other people can dictate your life. That's not how we live. I don't want you to be on your deathbed. I don't want you to be 60, 70, 80, 90. Let you all live to be 90, but to be at a place where you're regretting your life. They say the number one thing that people regret are the decisions or the choices they didn't make during life. Don't be that person. Live a life with no regrets. What if I try and it fails? Well, what if you try and it works? You see what I'm saying? Let it be that you tried and failed than never tried at all. And I need you to hear that, because I'd rather you try and find out and fail than to never try and to always wonder if you could have. That is the difference right there. And then, of course, one last thing, and we'll jump into the next one. Love that balance, like building a ladder for yourself to climb. Absolutely, Jonathan, 100%. Let's go on to the next one. Let's see if we can hit this symbol thing tonight, because I'm never really good at this, but we're trying. We're getting better. 1% better every time. I can't even find the symbol. Oh, there we go. Here we go. We got it. We got it. We got it. Got it. And 3, 2, 1. Yeah, we timed it right. Last time I hit myself in the head. So you got to create assets. So what does that mean? You're like, well, I am creating an asset. I'm creating a job. I'm creating income. No, that's not an asset, because what happens when the person no longer wants to pay you, right? There's an inevitability that who you work with will no longer work with you anymore. And it doesn't matter what industry you're in. And it may be a month, or it may be 5 years down the line. It's an inevitability, right? But the difference is creating assets while you have the ability to create assets. Well, what's an asset? Like, I'm going to tell you two things. There are, number one, actually, we're going to tell you like 3 or 4 things here, because I consider my YouTube videos assets. Why? Because my YouTube is an asset where people can go to my YouTube channel. By the way, if you're not liked and subscribed, here's your time and chance to do that now. But like, and make sure you hit the like button on the video, because it pushes it out and lets more people see this. But here's the thing. Each one of those are an asset, right? Why is that an asset for me? Because I know down the road, somebody's going to see it. Somebody's either going to pick one of my affiliate links up in my thing, or they're going to hire me to coach them, or they're going to join my membership program. Any one of those things can happen. So while I create these videos, these lives and the short forms, they sit on my channel and they're still getting views, and people will see that, and I will get paid, or I will get an income or a commission off of whatever transaction happens on some of those videos down the road. It may be a year from now, it may be 2 years from now, but the opportunity is still there. So I'm creating an asset that will ultimately give me later, kickback, right? Now, you can't live off of that. Well, I just think like that. So what else can you create? Assets like real estate investing, right? I wish I knew this in my 20s, but I didn't. So I'm in my 40s and I'm just starting now. But like my real estate, like I'm looking for my first property. So real estate, why do I want to be in real estate? Because that is an income every single month. Is it work? Yes. Am I going to outsource some of that? Yes. Am I going to have a property manager? Yes. But the deal is at the end of the day, I'm going to have the value of the house that I could sell at any time and make money off of it. Or I can keep it long term, and I can create this rental income that if all of my clients fire me, I still have income coming into my life, right? That's an asset. Recently, I literally just got into cryptocurrency, and I know that's a buzzword around here. And then if you ever mention cryptocurrency, you get all the people out there like, hey, here's this. I went with a group of people that I trusted, I knew, and I liked, and who were good at this stuff. And I didn't join Forex, I didn't join any of those other things, but I gotten tight with a couple people. And I'm going to tell you, I've been investing 3-4 months now, and I'm starting to get used to it. I'm getting known it. I'm doing all those things. But guess what? I've actually doubled the money that I've invested. I haven't, like, you'll see the market up and down. You lose some, you gain some. But in my cryptocurrency, I'm literally up 100% from when I invested, right? And it's not a whole lot. Like, you start somewhere. This is all new to me, so I'm starting small. But I think I invested like $300, and I'm at $600-700 now. Right now, will it go down? Yeah. Will it go up? Yeah. And it's all depending upon the investment and the level of knowledge that I have in while I do that. Am I going to win some? Yeah. Am I going to lose some? Yeah. But right now I'm on a good streak. But what is it doing? It's creating assets for me. The same with stocks. Don't just get stocks, get dividend stocks that pay you to own them. Like, there are a lot of those out there. And this is can be later videos and things like that on how to build assets. But the deal is that learn to build things that are ultimately going to pay you. There are several affiliate links that I have that I give people. If you go to my YouTube description, you'll see some of them that if they join, I get a commission off of that affiliate every single month. It may be $20, right? My Kartra gives me $40, or $37, $38 per month per person who signed up under Kartra, right? Well, you're like, well, $37 isn't a lot. Well, you get 10 of people under that, and that's what? $370 a month. You see where we're going with this? You get 20 people under that, and that's almost $1,000 a month. How much more can $1,000 a month be in your life? How much of a difference would that make if this was coming in regularly, that you didn't have to do anything? There was no sailing after the first sale. There was nothing else you had to do. So as long as they kept their membership in that other person's product, you get a residual. That is what I'm talking about. Create assets in your life. Create the things in your life that's going to pay you, right? And if it's going to pay you, then it's going to be worth it. Even if you have a learning curve. Like there's a huge learning curve that I had like with crypto, but that's okay. And with the learning curve though, I learned how to do it and where I can make money, cash out, all those things. If you go into this video on YouTube, you'll see several links, right? It's for cryptocurrency. It's for free money. Like if you sign up, you can earn cryptocurrency just by learning or just by signing up. Go ahead and do it. Take advantage of that. You get $25 for going crypto.com on that just because you signed up, right? Just take advantage of things like that. Even if you just sign up and cash out later, no losses, you got in there and you got something, right? And just learn and build the assets. And that's really what we're talking about right now. And so here's the thing, Jonathan said, assets are key. Most people put themselves to work for money instead of putting their money to work for them. And I'm going to 100% say yes. And this is a mindset things, guys, because the mindset is you have to get your money working for you. Other assets you could be creating. Listen, I am big on creating courses. If you don't have a course, you probably need to create one. Well, why do you need to create one? Because it's an asset you can put online and say, let me tell you this in a second, but it's an asset you can put online that people can come to over and over and over again and buy it from you, right? I'm in the middle of creating a full-blown course right now, right? Because I want it to be able to be where I put all the time up front and I don't have to put any more time into it unless I update what's being taught. With that being said, I can share that. I can create affiliates from that where I give people a portion of the money that they of that program as they sell it, right? So I create an army of affiliates, and then I don't have to sell anymore. Other people are selling it for a portion of the profits. So you just think about, there's millions of ways you can do this. The goal is to create the assets that pay you, not your time, but pay you just because it's evergreen. So you're not trading time for money, but you're out there getting out there and you're sharing it and you're doing the things. And now you've already put the time in. So eventually the scales will tip and people are now paying for the results and not your time. And then if you ever want people to hire you, but beyond that, that could be an upsell for your course. So now I can spend one-on-one time with you, which is going to cost more than the course. But now you create an asset with a ladder to some greater income, which now creates wealth in your life. And when you can do that effectively, the 9-to-5 job will fizzle away and will no longer be a thing. And I want you to get to a place where you understand that you got to build, what language is that? You got to build. Like, yo, you got to build, right? This is like, yo, you can't speak today. Got to build, right? Yeah. Listen, at the end of the day, you and I have to be on the same page to say, what are you doing to leave and escape the 9-to-5? What are you doing to escape the life that is too low for where you're at? What are you doing that is going to propel you into the life you've always dreamed? That's the key. That's what I want you to get a hold of. That's what I want you to understand. And to do that, you've got to get to a place where you have a plan, you visualize, you're creating assets, and it leads us into the next one is discovering your design. Now, if you've been on this channel at all ever, then you're going to understand that I'm huge on personalities. Like I'm a certified trainer in DISC personality, and I love Enneagram and I love Myers-Briggs because all three of them do different things, and that's okay. But guess what? When you understand your design, when you understand who you are, when you understand what you're good at, then you can make the business that says this matches what I do. This matches who I am. So you're not, because here's the number one danger. A lot of people who are trying to build a business to escape a job are actually building a job. So they go from one job to another job. And the difference is you start working in the job that you created. We don't want you to be another employee of your own business. We want you to be the CEO, the founder. We want you to lead it. We want you to get out there and doing the things. Well, to do that, you have to understand who you are, your design, your weaknesses, everything about you, so that you know how you operate in this world, right? You underknow. There are nargles today, but you underknow, right? You understand who you are, how God created you, so you can express that in the world. Not everybody's a speaker. right? You may speak or you may get opportunities to speak, and that's okay. I know a lot of introverts, a lot of people who are generally not a public eye person. They want to be behind the scenes, who do get speaking gigs and are actually really good at it, but they don't like it. They don't do it often, but they still do it. Now that's not, so this is not what I'm saying, but there are people, this guy, like, sees this guy, you can't see me beyond that one, but this guy who loves to be in front of people, like, give me a microphone and I'm good. Like, I enjoy it, right? But that's part of my design. So whatever I do, it's got to be in an aspect where I'm dealing with people and I'm communicating. Like, I'm navigating, here's the people, here's the communication, there's my sweet spot. End of story. And when those two things come together, whether it be training, whether it be coaching, whether it be, speaking in front of large crowds, which I've done plenty of, or having a show on YouTube, guess what? I'm living out my design. Now, I think everybody should have a YouTube channel. And if you want a YouTube channel, I can show you how to do that. But here's the deal. Well, you might say, well, I'm no good on camera. There are dozens and dozens and dozens of YouTube channels who are making good money and never show their face. You just have to realize, what are you good at? What is your design? Live in your strengths. Live in your design and get to the place where you are fully understanding who you are and how God created you. And you're not afraid, no holds barred, to take the mask off and just say, this is who I am. And you're going to own it. I want you to sit there and understand that you're going to own who you are, right? That's really what it is. Was that a chicken? Yeah, that was a chicken. That wasn't the one I wanted. I wanted this one. Because that's a key. That's a key. Let's do that one more time. The key is own who you are and get out of the cycle of living according to what everybody else tells you. When you own who you are, your strengths and your weaknesses, you begin to stop the arrogant, prideful stuff. You outsource what you can, you give away what you can, and you live in your strengths. That is what it's about. And many people are living in such an arrogance of their self and their skill levels that they're either A, working in the wrong area, so they're burning themselves out, they're killing themselves, or B, they think they can do it all, so they give none of it away. And so when you do that, you are now learning how to stifle your business. You're now learning how not to be successful, right? So learn your strengths, learn your keys, and get out there and do the thing. So Michelle says this: understanding who you are is often the hardest step. The life coach is definitely an asset in this. Yeah, absolutely. Learning who you are is definitely a hard step. But you know what's harder about learning who you are, Michelle, is simply this. It's not learning who you are, it's accepting who you are. I think there's a big difference with that, because like a life coach, a leadership coach, or any type of coach can sit there and tell you all day that you're good at this, stay away from that, do this and do this. But until you sit there in yourself and say, you know what, I am this is who I am, this is my identity, and you're okay with that, and you love that about yourself, you're always going to struggle to accept what you find out, because you're never going to think you're either good enough to do it, or you think you're so bad that you'll never be able to accomplish it. And I think that's the biggest thing right there. And I think that if you learn to accept who you are, to look in the mirror and be okay with who you are, then the challenges of finding your identity, finding your who you are, is going to be less. Jonathan says this. Jonathan, I think one of the biggest realizations for me was that the safe plan of a 9-to-5 wasn't really safe. No, it is not. Especially when the way the world just happened, and now most people are not working. I wasn't in control. Nope, you were not. Creating genuine certainty as a leader of my life was key. Yes, absolutely. And I'm going to tell you, I'm super proud of you and the life that you are building, because you are a rock star, and I cannot wait to see what comes out of that. And I really, really, really hope, and we're going to promote it, and I really hope more and more people get to know you, because you are an amazing person, and the journey that you've been on is inspiring. So without further ado, let's hit the drum roll and see if we can do this. I was early, but you understand, I was early. But here's the deal, guys. Map out your skills. Listen, I'm going to jump to this part. Learn what gets you paid. Map out your skills. Learn what gets you paid. What do I mean by that? So here's the deal. So simply put, is there are a lot of skills you have, a lot, but not everybody wants your skills, all of them. People want results. So you learn to listen to the market, and the market is anybody you speak to, right? And you learn to listen. What are their problems? What do they want? How do they need a result, or where do they need a result? All of that. Learn to listen to the market. And so when you do that, what happens is simply this. When I learn to when I learn to listen to the market, their needs, and everything that they're saying and questions they're asking, I can then go back to my skills and say, what of my skills meets this need? And when I understand what of my skills meets this need, I can match them up. And when I match them up, guess what happens? I create value, which ultimately gets paid, right? If I don't match value, I'm gonna turn this off for a second. If I don't match value with skill, then guess what? I'm going to miss it every single time. But when I match skill and value, what they want, what I offer, they buy and you get paid. That's why it's so important to map your skills out, because it's all about getting to a place where you understand what the market wants and how you can bring yourself to the market. Well, you're like, well, I don't have any skills. That is a lie. Everybody has skills. Everybody has a skill that somebody's looking for. You may have not just found the people that need your skill yet. Your skills could be simply, maybe you build websites. Maybe you crochet and you can teach other people. Maybe you're an awesome baker and you can teach people to do that. Maybe you're a copywriter. Maybe you're an artist. Maybe, just maybe, you are an incredible giver of advice. People pay for advice that gets results. People pay me to give them wisdom and advice to get results. And if they pay me, they will pay you. Your audience will pay you for the results that you get them. So you really think about all the times, think about this. So when you're mapping out your skills, do this. Think about all the people you've ever helped. You're like, well, I never made money off that. That's okay. Think about the people you helped for free, and then ask the question, what was common among all the things they asked me to do, or they asked for advice? If you see a commonality, if you see something, a thread, you say, wow, I get asked about this thing more than any other thing. So in that, I'm going to create something around it. I'm going to create a YouTube channel around it. I'm going to create a course around it. I'm going to create a coaching around it, right? And I'm going to invite people into doing that. When I started listening, like I've been doing leadership and leadership development for over 20 years. I'm certified in 2 different things in leadership, DISC personality, leadership, and I have a master's degree in leadership, right? Leadership development, right? So when it comes to knowledge and experience, I have it. But what I found, and when I was a church planner, that was 100% what was needed. That was 100% what I operated in. That was 100% of what I did, because I trained leaders to build an organization. But when I came into the marketplace, I did the same thing in one context as I did in the other. But it didn't work. And for years, I was like, oh, and I kept failing. So I started listening. And I asked the question, what do people need? And what I found was that people want to be noticed online. They want to get motivated or building their business so that they can get paid, right? That's where my whole tagline came from. And so with that being said, I asked myself, well, what are those key things that I can do that can help? Well, I get on large publications. I have YouTube channels, and I've been coached by one of the best YouTubers around, and he has a program that I help people get involved in, which has helped me learn how to do YouTube. So we shift you guys over to him. I found that I'm an awesome connector, so therefore I have a number of affiliates. So I say, here's this person, and as you sign up, I begin to create income that way as well. So I find my skills, and I begin to match my skills with your need, right? So with that being said, I have multiple streams happening, multiple things based on my skill levels. And if I can't fulfill it, I know somebody who can. And so therefore I created a system that says, if I send it to you, or I send him or her to you, then I will get something back in return. So like, YouTube. I love YouTube. I put thousands of dollars into learning how to do this. And I absolutely love doing it. My mentor and I meet weekly, and he has a whole program, the YouTube intensive. He has a lower program of membership that teaches nothing but YouTube, the video marketing school. So every person that comes into my sphere who is looking for like solid, done for you content that's all amazing, I ship them over there. If you're somebody who is like looking to build your entrepreneurial journey, learn how to create multiple streams of income, learn how to get, noticed on different things, get on stages and stuff, then I shift you into my programs, which is what I'm amazing at. And so like I'm launching a new membership that deals with just that subject. I have coaching that deals with that subject, right? On how to get you growing. Let's get your foundation done. Let's get you growing and let's get you noticed by people. Social media hacks. I didn't realize how much of social media that I legit know until I started sharing with people. And then I realized people pay for this. So therefore, there are things I give away for free because I just love people and I want to help them. And then there's things that you have to sign up to be part of the mastermind or the community. End of story. And I think at the end of the day, when you understand your skills, when you understand who you are and you just accept that, then you're okay with giving some things away and you're okay with receiving other things. And you just learn to operate in this beautiful ebb and flow of things, because at the end of the day, if you are getting the money you need, not to just survive, we're not survivors, we're thrivers here, guys. On this channel, we thrive. If you're getting the money to thrive, and you can leave that 9-to-5 job, then do it and live comfortably. Don't live in the struggle. And you may struggle for a little bit, but that's why I tell you, of all of these things, and we went through 5 of them, I want you to make sure that you are using your job. If you're in a job, and it could be a 9-to-5 job, it could be just a piecemeal thing like Uber or Instacart or whatever freelance thing you do, use the money that you make from that to create a sustainable business, because all of those freelancing things are not sustainable. They're not going to be long term. So you can, while you're working there and they pay, and that pays the bills, and that gives you money to build assets, like cost average into, like we talked earlier, to cryptocurrency, $100 a paycheck, $10 a paycheck to start building. And again, I got on my YouTube channel, there are free, on this video, there are free money for crypto. So just go in and grab it. And then, you start building these things little by little, and then you build a business that's sustainable, coaching, like membership groups, all these things. So at the end of the day, guys, at the end of the day, you're using one set of things to build another, so that eventually you can lose the thing that you don't like, you don't want to be doing anymore, to do the thing that you love, and the thing that you love now pays you. And I think that's what it is. And I think that's really what it comes down to. But I think also that we're too afraid to leave comfort into chasing what we need, right? And I think that's what it is. Let's check out some of the things. Well, Freddie, I'm glad to see you back. If you missed any of this, make sure you watch the replay once it's up. All right, Jonathan. Jonathan says, and I think it's beautiful not to just be a source of greatness for yourself, but an amplifier and promoter of greatness in others. Absolutely. And then here's one more. And remember, guys, if you have any questions, now's your time to ask. Shoot them in the comments. All right. One of the statements I love is selling the sawdust. I love that too. That's actually a really good one. I heard that recently. Ask yourself, what do I already do as part of my work without additional effort or on your end? I love that. And what can make the lives of others easier? I love that. Very, very well put. Very, very well put. Thank you for that, sir. So here's the opportunity, guys. Ask your questions in the comments. We're gonna put some little, now that we're on the downside, we're gonna put a little mood music on. And so the whole understanding today has been, if you're just joining me, this is gonna sit on my YouTube channel. If you haven't gone over to the YouTube channel, let me drop a link. And the link is simply this. You see it on the screen. It says leadwithjim.live. I would love for you to be over on the YouTube channel with me, because guess what? This is what I'm building. And as I build this, I want you to be with me, because I'm not building the YouTube channel for me. I'm building the YouTube channel for you, because on the YouTube channel is this place where I'm building the assets, where you get moving, you get noticed, and you get paid, right? You'll see a lot of things out there that's really going to be relevant. I will, if you comment on any of those post, if you comment on any video and you ask me to do a video for you in any of those areas that I focus on, I would love to, right? And I may even show your comment in that video and give you a shout out for you, your channel, and your business. Why am I focusing more on YouTube than any other platform? And here's why. I love Facebook and I love Instagram. I am big on those two. Those are Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube are my chosen platforms, right? But here's the deal. I'm gonna sign this off real quick, the music. Here's the deal. On Facebook, your posts last maybe 6 hours. On Instagram, your post maybe lasts 12 hours before everything stops. On YouTube, your post lasts forever, right? The algorithm may show your post actively, or your video actively for 20 days or so. If it gets more engagement, it'll pick it back up with the algorithm, but it lives there on your channel that people can search your channel and find the keys to what you're teaching, the keys to what you're doing. And secondly, it's the only platform I know that you can monetize. And I think that's really what it comes down to is I'm monetizing YouTube because through affiliate links, through coaching, through AdSense. Why? Because I'm building assets. That was one of our things that I spoke about when you're leaving your 9-to-5, create assets. Because I'm building assets that all I have to do is do what I love. I love being live with you. I love creating videos for you. And so with that being said, I want to focus on a place that is a creator's dream, is to create and give value and then ultimately create income from it. Do what you love, do what you dream of doing, and go out there and do it. And guys, don't ever be afraid to do that, because when you're afraid to step out, when you're afraid to jump out, then you're actually afraid to live your life. And if you're afraid to live your life, then you'll never accomplish everything that God set you out to accomplish. Stop making excuses for yourself, because guess what? Your excuses are stupid anyway. Think about the excuses you do, and you tell me if you actually have a legit excuse. Well, I'm sick. No, you're not. I mean, you may be sick physically, but the trouble is not physical sickness, it's mental sickness, right? And I'm not talking about mental illness. Listen, we on this channel speak to mental illness. My wife is diagnosed with that. We take that very, very seriously. I'm diagnosed with some autoimmune physical things, but we take all of that really serious. But the sickness of the mind, where you say, I can't, I won't, where you say, I'm not good enough, where you say there's something in there that just is terrible. If you have all of those going on in here, that's what's keeping you back. What will people think of me? So what? Who cares what people will think about you? What about the people who need you? What about people who absolutely want you in their corner? What about those people? What about the people that are out there waiting for you to coach them? What about the people who are out there waiting for the breakthrough that you have gotten that you just need to talk about? What about those people? The greatest sickness is the mindset sickness, is where we've talked ourselves and are convinced ourselves that we can never accomplish great things, so we never try. And if you never try, you will always live in regret of this place of, I wish I would have, I wish I could have, but I never did. And I think that's the biggest challenge with all of this is, don't be the person who never did because you never tried, because you thought you were never good enough. And I just want you to hear that, because that's why I create this channel. That's why I do these things, is because I want you, that creator, that new entrepreneur, that person who is like, I want to start that, living the design that God has created me to live and express that in the world. That's why I do this, because I believe in you. I believe in what's in you, and I believe that the world needs to see it too. And because of that, I create a channel on YouTube around everything about that. And I also post on Facebook, and I'm starting to post on Instagram again, because I want the audiences to realize that there's something special. There's something magical inside of them that the world needs expressed, because there's so many people out there that are just chasing money. There's so many people out there that are just chasing things, but you're not going to chase anything. You're going to create, and what you create is going to change lives. That's what it's about, and that's why I do what I do. So Jonathan says this. Remember, ask your questions, guys. We're going to roll down our show, but ask your questions. You write sales emails for a living for your clients. Selling the sawdust could be publishing a monthly membership for your clients with the highest performing emails every month. Yeah, what a great suggestion, Jonathan. Thank you for sharing that. And that could be, maybe you write emails, maybe you are a copywriter and you just do a monthly newsletter, a paid monthly newsletter. Charge $10, $20, $30, $40, whatever. But just understand that, just add value and understand the difference between the free value you add and the paid value you add. There's a big difference between the two. To get paid for what you need to be paid for and never being ashamed of that, and also to be able to give free value to people who may never be able to hire you, and that's okay. I have a YouTube channel for people who may never hire me, but I have coaching programs and a membership program for people who want to go deeper. So always remember that. Create those things, guys. Don't be afraid to create those things. Let me leave you with this challenge. We're going to throw some music back on as we end our show. And I'm going to do a challenge. And maybe some of you have already done this. Maybe some of you haven't. But I want you to create. This is the challenge. Create $1,000 extra this month. Not in what you're doing now. If you're doing Ubers and Instacart, or you're doing writing papers or something, that's not what I'm doing. I'm not telling you to do more of what you're doing. What I want you to do is I want you to do the $1,000 challenge, and maybe we'll do this a really big thing. Like a friend of mine did a 5-day thing called 5 days to $1,000. Maybe I'll do something similar. I'll see if she wants to partner. But the deal is I want you this month in June. It's June 1st. I say do it in a week and a half. But like, listen, I'll give you the month. I want you to post. I want you to send me a message on Facebook, a message on Instagram. I want you to post on this particular post, or maybe even come on a live later and tell me. But the deal is that I want you to create $1,000 extra a month that this month that is going to be something that you wanted to try to build. That is going to be something that you wanted to try to develop something. So maybe you were like, well, I wanted to sell this thing. Go sell it. I wanted to sell a course. Pre-sell it. I want to go start this newsletter. Pre-sell it. I want to go, whatever it is. But talk to enough people and create $1,000, right? And then report back to me. Now, because I want you to prove to yourself that you can do this. I can never make you do this, but you gonna get out there and you can do the things that will make and help you do it. So with that being said, my challenge to you, for all you guys who are looking to leave your 9-to-5, for you guys to take one of the 5 or 6 things that I mentioned today, implement one of them. But as we do that, I want you to take this challenge, $1,000 extra this month. That's your challenge, guys. That's what I want. That's what I want to think. And then tell me what you did to get there. Let's get some good stories. Are you in? Say, if you're in, say I'm in. Put that in the chat. I'm in. But I want you to be able to do that. And you guys on Facebook who may not be able to comment, I will come back and check the Facebook feeds to comment back on you. But say you're in. Let's all do it. Let's do it. I'll do something. I'll start a secondary hustle just to do it with you, right? And then let's get it done. And I'm gonna get my wife to do her own hustle and let her do it because she's looking for some things to create impact. So let's do that too. So I want you to do it just because I want you to prove to yourself that you can. I want you to prove it, right? So with that being said, guys, I love each and every one of you. Remember to do me 2 favors. Number 1, like, subscribe, or share. Invite people to the channel. I need 2 more people to be a 300 member channel, right, on YouTube. For you guys who don't know the link over there, it is in the links, but there it is. Leadwithjim.live. Go over there. Listen, I need 2 people to 300, and I need 700 people to 1,000, right? And I want to get to the 1,000 place, and I want you to be able to help me get there, because again, our whole channel is about getting motivated, getting moving, getting noticed, and getting paid. And with that being said, guys, we're going to rock it out. Each and every week, we come live to you every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Much love, guys. And if you look at the description in the YouTube channel, if you look at the description and you want to schedule a 15-minute call with me, let me help you with a strategy session free of charge. Let's do it, right? Schedule that on my calendar link, and let's get you moving. So with that being this, peace out, much love, and I will continue to check the chats. I see all the ones that are coming in that says I'm in, I'm in, I'm in. All right, let's do it. Let's do it. All right, guys, with that being said, I'm out. I like to keep these to an hour because we'll do a marathon of these one day where I start pulling you guys on live with me. But as of now, good night, and I'll see you again this week.